Like many people, I've been on YouTube for a long time, known and unknown. I am still unknown. Welcome to my channel. My name is Neekie. Let's go on a little journey. So, what I realized with YouTube is this: it's not hard to gain subscribers. And let me tell you what I mean. It's very easy to put your videos up and advertise them and get people to your channel. That part is very easy. But in terms of getting loyal subscribers, now that part is the challenging part. Reaching that 4,000 hours of watch time is what is hard, because many people can subscribe to your channel and many people often do, but not a lot of people care enough to come back to your channel. Speaking of caring, drop a like in the comments, say hi, moving on. Yeah, so not a lot of people care enough to come back or even remember to say, hey, I was interested in this video from this person. At first, let me turn on the notification for all their videos so that I can get updated every single time they post. Not a lot of people remember to do that. It's a shame that YouTube added that step. Like, why complicate a already complicated process? Personally, I've started and stopped making videos quite a few times. I have tried many things and ultimately I just decided that, hey, the one channel I do the most on is the channel that I will compound my efforts. So if you look through this channel, you will see a bit of every single thing that I've ever tried to do on YouTube. So I have my book things going on, I have a bit of traveling things going on, some food things, and of course all of those are intertwined with some Asian stuff and some Jamaican stuff. The only non-related thing I've ever spoke about is Gossip Girl, which I like Gossip Girl. But other than that, I'd say I have my own little niche. Now with YouTube, having a niche is very important, and the narrower you go, it works out better in your favor, because when you focus on one thing, you can become an authority in that niche. And while that is important, it's not important to me, because my goal for my channel is to be authentically myself. And as somebody with varying interests, I want that to be a staple throughout my channel. I don't want to have 25 channels like a lot of people do, because I've already struggled with having multiple channels and creating content for these multiple channels. So I want everything to be in one place, and that is why I divide each section of my channel into different interest areas. So I think about it like I'm watching TV, right? So with TV, there are varying programs that come on, and of course this is called a channel. So varying programs have their spot on this channel. And because that's how I view it, that's how I treat it. Now, I'm not trying to go farther or wider than what I've already established for this channel, because as I've said, those are the things that I'm truly interested in, and I want to make it even more tight by keeping the interest focused on a few topics and a few sub areas. Those are to come, but let's get back into this topic. Personally, in this whole YouTube game, I've struggled, and I've always wondered, am I interesting enough? Will anybody ever want to hear what I say? And then there's the thing of trying to get people to pay attention to you and to pay attention to what you're doing. And then after a certain point, honestly, I just stopped. Because if they were truly interested, you wouldn't have to tell them to come back. And I find that it's especially with family and friends, and this is like overstated, they will never truly be your fan. They are not the people that you should be trying to impress at any point. Some of them will come back and like the video every now and then, but they won't comment. Some of them don't share your content. I know my mother does, for sure, shares my content. For a while I've struggled to figure out whether or not I'm interesting enough, and I'm sure a lot of people out there are wondering the same thing themselves. I'd say to you that despite how you feel and what you're thinking, continue, because I have seen content that I have deemed to be be very boring, and these people have huge audiences. So it's not that you're boring or uninteresting, you just haven't found your people. And when you find your people, you know, they will ride with you and for you. Let me just pause this to say thank you for all of the people subscribing. I would love to hear more from you in the comments. Thank you for commenting beforehand. Yeah, so once you find your people, they will be there for you and they will show up for you. Now, in terms of shooting videos and stuff like that, I think everybody kind of finds themselves over time. You have some people who they were probably doing this off of YouTube before, and you know, they already established who they are and how they want to present themselves, or some people just come into it and it works, and so they just continue with it and maybe rebrand over time. But honestly, don't beat yourself up about any of that either, because this used to be fun once upon a time for a lot of us, and then it got super serious, and now we're stressing out, we have so much anxiety about it, and we're just thinking about, oh my gosh, what do I look like on camera, what am I going to wear, what, there's just so many things. Slow down, okay? You don't have to pressure yourselves into being somebody that you're not, because at the end of the day, this persona that you have been keeping up online, you're gonna have to present that same persona when people meet you in real life, and that is what stumps a lot of people, because when people meet them in real life, they are monsters, and people are like, oh my gosh, that's why I don't get into the whole like celebrity sphere, because a lot of these times these people are just acting. So you don't want to find yourself in that same bubble, so be yourself. All right, and in terms of your voice, right, this is something that I've struggled with. My voice, I don't speak up a lot, I fade into the background quite often. I don't really say what I think all the time, and sometimes, you know, I ponder about a lot of the things that I should say, could have said, blah blah blah, you know, the old introvert tango. Yeah, so don't worry about who is going to watch your video. There's something that we did in advertising class that I think is absolutely very useful, is creating a persona for your ideal audience. So when you do that, you can think about this one person. So you're just going to do one person. You're thinking about this one person, and that is who you are speaking to. That's the person that you want to watch your video, and you know, that person is going to engage with your content. That person is going to watch all of your video down to the very end. Think about that person and speak to that person, and eliminate everything else from your mind. Once you can build up the confidence to speak to this one person, I'm sure this one person will multiply over time. And then in terms of presenting yourself in front of the camera, it's up to you how you want to present yourself, because everybody has their own little thing that they do. Once upon a time, like in the 2010s, there is this persona that used to be very popular. And they're going up into the camera and they're speaking loudly and they're just doing all sorts of things. Honestly, every time I was watching a video like that, I would click off of it, because it just never appealed to me. So think about who you want to attract and how you want to be perceived in terms of your content. Like, I think a lot of young people go for that type of, you know, content. People shouting, I don't even know what to call it, but it's the average Instagram boy presenter, because it's usually done by men. A lot of men do it. Yeah, personally never been attracted to those videos. I've always liked the aesthetic type of videos, or just something more on the calming side. So I've always been attracted to, I guess, pretty things, quiet things. But I've also been, if it's loud or destructive, it's a house demo, somebody rebuilding a house, somebody doing something to a house, maybe somebody doing something to a car. Gaming content would be they're talking and laughing. So it just depends. But like the shouting at the camera video and just doing all sorts of weirdness, not for me. So you pick your persona. What do you want to do? How do you want to be perceived? And be that person. And it also helps if that person is naturally who you are. Now, I am laid back, and it's so funny that I'm laying down right now in this video, but I just wanted to be absolutely chill. I wanted to be in my element, and this right here is where I spend most of my time, whether I'm working or reading or whatever. Right here in bed is where I spend most of my time, and this is also where I do my book reviews, right here in this bed. So I think it's a very natural place to be for me, and who knows, maybe this will catch on, maybe somebody else is doing it that I don't know about. But again, be authentically you. And overall, I'd say the YouTube journey, it did start to make me anxious when I started to look at the numbers, because I was really wondering, like, what the hell was I doing wrong? Because it just wasn't computing. The numbers weren't making any sense to me, and it caused me a lot of stress and anxiety. But over time, I stopped looking at them. I stopped going on YouTube as much, because I still have the other channels. My main channel is where I watch all sorts of foolishness. The other one, I don't so much watch anything on it. That's just where I post my videos, and then the others are just sitting there collecting dust. So I just had to pull back. I had to step all the way back from all of that, because if I didn't, I probably would have gotten some type of anxiety or panic attack, and nobody wants that. Don't stress yourself over it. It will grow as long as you are consistent. And right now, I would say I'm not consistent enough, because I don't post as much, but I do post every month at least. What I do post a lot is a lot of shorts, and personally, honestly, they don't have anything to do with my long format videos for the most part. Like, they are separate, which I have thought to myself that I need to combine my efforts and combine the two, so that it's not so disconnected. So that is something that I have thought of to myself, and I'm working to fix that. But eventually, when I have all the time in the world, I can do that, because at this very moment while I'm making this, I am actually working. So there's just a lot of variables, but I think if you are interested in something enough, you will make it work, right? You will find a way to make it work. But that was what I wanted to talk about. I know I went all over the place into a few different areas, but the bottom line is this: gaining subscribers and keeping subscribers requires work, but it is not the hardest work that you will put into your channel. The hardest work that you will put into your channel is being consistent and retaining your subscribers' attention. So once you can do those two things, then you will have a successful channel. Above everything else, once you can meet people's attention, then you will be successful. I think personally I'm still learning, because as I said, I know I've struggled with wondering if I'm engaging enough for all of this, but I don't think I lead the most boring life. Sure, I stay home a lot. As I said, my love is for a more calming, relaxing type of vibe, and this type of content is not so much popular on where I'm from, and then aesthetic type of videos are not the mainstay on YouTube. Sure, you have quite a number of them who are popular, but like other types of YouTubers are more popular. So work in progress. As I said, always stay true to yourself first and foremost, and then let everything else come afterwards. And I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining me in this Neekie Talk, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.